You walk into a casino at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, every seat is full, the drinks are free, the lights never turn off, and somewhere behind a locked door, a room full of screens is watching every single chip that moves across every single table. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Casinos aren't gambling businesses, they're math businesses that happen to sell entertainment. The house doesn't get rich by getting lucky, it gets rich because luck isn't part of the plan at all. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it costs, what it earns, and why 90% of people who try to build one go broke before they ever open the doors. This is the economics of owning a casino. Quick gut check before we get into numbers. Most people picture red carpet, high rollers, a Bond villain office overlooking the floor. Reality, you are running one of the most heavily regulated, most capital-intensive, most tightly audited businesses on earth, where a single compliance mistake can get your license pulled overnight, and where your single biggest expense isn't the poker tables. It's payroll and property tax. Let's build this from the ground up. Licensing, real estate, staffing, revenue streams, and the number that actually determines whether you survive year one, the hold percentage. Before you buy a single slot machine, you need a gaming license. And this is where 95% of people quit before they start. Licensing fees alone can range from $50,000 for a small tribal or riverboat license to $5 to $50 million or more for a full commercial casino license in states like Nevada, New Jersey, or Macau. You'll go through background checks on every investor, every source of funds, and often a suitability investigation that can take 12 to 24 months. Many states cap the number of licenses available, meaning you're not just applying, you're competing against other billion-dollar operators for a limited seat. This is the part nobody puts in the thumbnail. Before you make a single dollar, you might spend 2 years and $10 million just proving you're allowed to try. Now, the real capital expenditure begins. A mid-sized commercial casino, think regional, not Vegas Strip mega resort, runs $100 to $400 million to construct, including the gaming floor, hotel tower, restaurants, and parking infrastructure. Gaming floor build-out alone, flooring, security infrastructure, surveillance systems, cabling for slot machines can run $5,000 to $15,000 per square foot. Surveillance is non-negotiable. Expect to spend $2 to $10 million on the eye-in-the-sky camera and monitoring system alone. This isn't optional. It's a licensing requirement in almost every jurisdiction. Now, let's talk about where the money actually comes from. First, table games. There's a number called the hold percentage, so the average share of money wagered that the house keeps after paying out wins. Blackjack holds around 15 to 20%. Baccarat holds around 12 to 15%. This is the actual house edge in practice, not the theoretical one. Second, slot machines. Slots are the real profit engine, not table games. They often make up 65 to 70% of total casino revenue. There's a difference between handle, the total amount wagered, and win, what the house actually keeps. Typical slot hold is only 5 to 10%, but because the volume is so high, this is where the real money is made. Third, the hotel. Rooms are often sold at a loss or break even because a guest staying overnight gambles more. It's the same strategy as a grocery store selling milk cheap to get you to buy everything else. The room isn't the product, it's the bait. Fourth, food, beverage, and entertainment. Buffets, headline shows, nightclubs. The margin is thinner than gaming, but it's critical for keeping guests sight longer because more time on the floor means more money spent gambling. Fifth, comps and loyalty programs. Those free drinks and rooms aren't really free. They're a marketing expense calculated against a guest's theoretical loss. They're expected spend based on how long they play and how much they bet per hand. Now let's talk about staffing because this is where most of your operating budget disappears. A mid-sized casino employs between 1,500 and 3,000 staff, dealers, pit bosses, surveillance officers, cage cashiers, security, hospitality staff. Labor typically makes up 25 to 35% of total operating costs, the single largest line item after gaming taxes. Dealers require state license training and certification, so you also need to budget for ongoing compliance training. And surveillance and security teams run 24/7, 365 with zero downtime, which means overlapping shifts and higher overtime costs than almost any other hospitality business you could run. This next part is what actually separates casino economics from every other business we've covered. Gaming tax rates vary wildly depending on where you are. Nevada taxes gaming revenue at roughly 6.75%, while some states tax upward of 50% or more of gross gaming revenue. You need dedicated compliance staff just to handle anti-money laundering reporting. Every large cash transaction gets reported, tracked, and audited, and random state audits can happen at any time. A failed audit can mean fines in the millions, or your license gets suspended entirely. So after all of that, what's actually left at the end? A typical casino runs an EBITDA margin of 20 to 30% for well-run operations, which is lower than most people assume, given the money machine reputation. The break-even timeline for a new casino is often 5 to 8 years once you account for construction debt service. And here's the thesis worth remembering. The businesses that fail usually don't fail because of bad luck at the tables. They fail from over-leveraging construction costs. The house always wins on the games, but the business itself can still lose. Now the risks nobody puts in the pitch deck. Regulatory risk, a single law change like a new competing license opening nearby, can crater your property's value overnight. Reputational risk, one bad press story about underage gambling or money laundering can trigger a full license review. And market saturation. In states that have expanded gaming licenses aggressively, like Pennsylvania, revenue per property has been steadily declining as competition increases. So, would you actually want to own a casino? If you've got $200 million or more in patient capital, the patience for a 2-year licensing process, and you're comfortable running a business where the government can audit you at any moment, this might be for you. For everyone else, this is why the house always wins and why almost nobody gets to be the house. If you want to see the economics of another business people fantasize about owning, check out the next video and subscribe because we break down a new one every week.